I would say about 5 stayed, okay, and then about seven left to just go home. Or they went to travel to see some family. They didn't really go to, any of the beaches or anything like that, so that was good to know.
Coach, one of the things I think that stood out from talking with the players is they talk about how much you guys teach them on the field and just sort of your methodologies there. Can you expound on that a little bit and why that's such a part of this staff's operating method?
It starts from the top. I mean, Coach Jones is he's a stickler on the details. It's all made us better again for us being together. For most of us, myself going into 7 years, we know that by the time we sit in a meeting and we turn the film on, if something's not addressed immediately, we're going to know about it. So it's just like almost as the players that, he's pointing things out, whether it be stance, whether it be the release of the snap from the center, that the ball's left or it's right. All the detail things that, like we talk about, small things lead to big things and inches make the champion, and he's big on that, and therefore it just trickles down to the rest of us, and it's what's allowed us to be as successful as we have. It's taking care of the little things.
Have you been a part of any other staff that's maybe taught it quite that extensively, or?
No. He's really again, and being an offensive guy, he's in with us a lot, so we're held to the flame, so to speak, right away. So we know really what's expected, and again, it's how the players react to it. It's how we react to it. It makes us better. It's just we know that we see something that's got to be addressed, and it's just like you said. It's immediate because spring ball is a little bit different in the fact that you do have a day tomorrow with them. You may not have enough time allotted to necessarily see all the film, so you better address it right away, and that way the kids it's in their minds.
Coach, you talked last week when you talked about depth and they need to improve. Just how those guys, the younger guys, have done this week, and how big is Saturday for these guys to get a fresh look at?
Again, Matt Crowder and Kyler Kerbison are two guys that have been consistent. Kyler's starting to come on now, in which he's really training both tackle and guard, whereas Mac's just concentrating on center. So in fairness to really Kyler, Mac is ahead of him. But Kyler's making strides. I'm really encouraged by him. He's really understanding the offense. He's playing fast. It's still a matter of the in-shape part of it, which I trust in Coach Lawson to get that right. So those two guys are the ones that really have stepped up. Posey and Pear still have a ways to go. And, Jacob Gillum is doing some things that are encouraging. He as well is bouncing a little bit from left to right at the tackle spot. But he's given us some positive work, and it's been good.
Talk about Kyler. Do you like to have a utility guy? I mean, is that your blueprint every year to have a guy you can stick in a couple of spots?
Yeah, I mean, it's, and again, and I was not aware of this, but I guess he actually had the ball in his hand some last year through practice and so forth. I think there's a fine line to that as well, that you got to be careful that it's not too much that you ask and put on a guy's plate, especially a younger guy. A guy like Alex Bullard can play everything, center, guard, tackle, and gets it fast, and really has done a nice job. Kyler, I would be more of, again, just as the question earlier was asked about, details and so forth. I get concerned about bouncing guys too much, because then again, the stance, the footwork, and all those things sometimes gets lost, and I don't want that to happen. A guy like Alex has been able to respond faster to that.
What are you looking for on Saturday? Scrimmage?
More physicality and more effort. That's been our biggest drive that we've been making to this team. We took a step in the direction today, which was positive in terms of hearing the practice, and it helps being inside, but we were actually hearing the practice, and the players were understanding the message sent by Coach Jones yesterday. But definitely the physicality and just the all-out effort. I want to cut the film on and say this is what we expect to see, and I think the kids are understanding that.
When you talk about physicality, is that in particular to the run game? Because it seemed like last year maybe some of the guys were accused of lacking a killer instinct, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're exactly right. The other day in film, as I showed and point some things out, if you have a chance for the knockout punch, we got to go for that. Meaning that there's a guy in an awkward position, we need to put him away, and that's just something that and they've been hey, everything that we've thrown at them, they've come out The other day I said we weren't fast enough. The guards were getting faster today with getting lined up so they were responding to what was asked. So it's on their mind. They're really working hard at delivering the message that we're trying to send and get through to them. And that's what I'm, Saturday I would like to see is that there's some guys that, like you said, we're finishing blocks. And that's the thing, especially, up front in general, especially in this conference, knockdowns and putting people to the ground, just that happens through effort and strain and extra effort that happens. Because there's so many doggone good athletes that they stay on their feet, they're able to adjust and get off of a double team, whatever it may be, that it's, again, boils down to the all-out effort. And that's what we keep continuing to stress.
You're talking about, go ahead. I was looking ahead at the 2014 class, and you guys need a ton of bodies on both sides of the line. And I'm obviously speaking generally, not specifically, but when you're looking at video of prospects, and I imagine you're looking at a lot of video, what type of stuff are you looking for as far as your ideal high school offensive line?
Physical, a guy that's definitely physical by the way he plays. I want to feel a guy when I watch him on film that he excites me by what I see from the way he plays and his willingness to really finish blocks like we just talked about. So that's first. Because that's important. That you want to have that guy it's in his personality that he likes to mix it up. And then you obviously go into how athletic is he? Can he run? Does he use his hands well? What program does he come from in terms of the actual learning curve? Meaning, he's really a great technician. Well, I know this school. He comes from a heck of a coach that does a tremendous job. May come from an area I'm not aware of, or maybe it's whatever the circumstances are, but tough being first and foremost and researching more. How smart is he that he's able to grasp things? Because again, in a system where you got to play fast, under the pressure, under the noise, all those things, how quickly do they respond to those things? So that's important. And and obviously the size, the bigger the better. I'd say again the first two being as important, tough and smart.
Coach, where do you fall on it? I don't know if you buy this, but a lot of people, I work for Rivals, and a lot of people say that that's the toughest position to evaluate just because of how much the bodies might change in 3 or 4 years. Do you think is that fair?
It is definitely fair, and here's why. A guy, like the offensive linemen's bodies and their personalities and everything about them is unbelievable how much they change. There's guys that I've coached in the past that, whether we've gone into a situation or we recruited a guy and I said, boy, you know what? I don't know how soon he'll play or if he'll play. And then in 1 year's time, I go, oh my gosh. The so-called light came on. It's a matter of maturing. And it is tough. It's difficult. You really got to research these guys. You got to really, and that's the part that's hard right now is guys are so quick that the offers are being made and being jumped on. And, when you do your research, when you talk to the coach and you learn about his development, you learn about his growth and so forth. Eric Fisher's a perfect example.
I was going to ask you about if you recruited him. I didn't know.
We did. And here's what happened with Eric, and that's the normal deal too. How many offers does he have? Oh, he has one. Well, don't recruit him because he only has one. Well, I think at the end you got to be one that you really trust yourself, that you say, I like this, I've done my due diligence, I've done my homework on this guy. And when I say in terms of Eric, here's a guy that came to our camp. He was 6'6", 245 some pounds, played basketball in high school, small high school, did the research with the high school coach, work ethic, character, school, all those things. Comes up to our place, and in a year's time, he puts the weight on under, again, Coach Lawson and his training and, and guidance and all that and so forth. And next thing you know, it's taken off for him. And there's a perfect example of some guys shied away maybe because they saw that the project would be too, everybody wants right now. Well, the project would be a little bit more down the road. I'm so happy for him. He's, a tremendous young man, and, we had 1 year with him, started as a freshman, but it's just, you really got to, again, research it, look at the kids' bodies, and be patient. And that's the hardest thing today, as everybody knows. You drive through McDonald's, you want it now. That's what we want. We want it now. Well, it's not as immediate, so that's just kind of what we got to deal with. But you just keep chipping away at it, and that's it.
One more, guys.
Coach, Juwan kind of talked about